Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, I wanted to have some fun, and by that, I mean have a look into some terrible things that some people do, and then somehow think that they are not in the wrong. And you can often find that in r/am I the asshole, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit and go for one worse, which is r/am I the devil, which is pulling things from places such as Am I the asshole, but also from a bunch of other places like r/relationships or advice or literally anywhere, just finding kind of the worst people and putting them in one place for our entertainment. And so I wanted to have a read through some of those, and we can just sit here in shock of other people's actions together. But before we get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Lou. I appreciate you and your support so much, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat, click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and I appreciate it greatly. I also would like to let you know that this video is sponsored by Aura, and I will tell you a little bit more about them shortly. All right, let's look at some great people. I cheated on my wife while she was pregnant and she won't take me back. Shocker. I want to start off by saying that I found out my wife posted to this sub and she will no longer speak to me, so I am here to try and get her to talk to me. I cheated on my wife when she was pregnant, twice, and then I did it again, stupidly, after she gave birth to our son. I was stressed and the co-worker was there. We got to talking about life and how hard her divorce was. She's been lonely. I was feeling lonely. My wife was bedridden. Because she'd just given birth. Yeah, okay. We got to talking about life and how hard her divorce was. She's been lonely. I was feeling lonely. My wife was bedridden and I needed someone to talk to because my wife was always asleep. She just wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife. She was pregnant and then she had just given birth. When you say she wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife, does that just mean she didn't want to have sex because, I don't know, she was carrying a human inside her and then had just shoved one out of her vagina? Like, I wouldn't be much feeling like having sex either. And if you mean in any other way, honestly, in any way, that doesn't really stand. It doesn't feel well enough to act like a wife. What does that even mean? A wife is just a person who loves you. That's literally it. If she wasn't well enough to do chores and whatever else, fair enough. That's very fair enough for her to have not been feeling well enough to do those things. And I really don't think that you should hold that against her at all. And to just, I don't know, be there for her. But I digress. My wife won't speak to me or text me whenever I try to talk about us. She just completely ignores me unless I talk about our son, and all the time she won't even text me, she communicates with me through her mother. Her mother threatened to call the police if I came by anymore, so I have no way to reach her except through phone or me making my case here and pleading with her to just talk to me. Has anyone been in this situation before? And what can I do to make her forgive me? She told me that she doesn't tolerate cheaters, and I had a lapse of judgment and I made a mistake and I want to fix it and work on it. Steph, if you're reading this, I'm so sorry and will do whatever to get you back. I love you. I'll buy you whatever. I'll never leave the house again. Just come back home and stop the divorce. I won't sign the papers. There's something so funny about going on Reddit to beg for your wife to come back. Like, that's so funny. Like, you see this on like Instagram stories when it's between like couples who have been together for not that long, or like toxic couples who are like in on again, off again relationships. Like, you see that. Like, coming on Reddit to beg for the like mother of your children to come back to you after you cheated on her is the funniest, saddest thing I've ever seen. You can't make someone forgive you. She set a boundary. You crossed the boundary and you did it multiple times, and you did it specifically because she was pregnant. Like, my coworker was lonely. I was lonely because my wife was pregnant. That was really inconvenient for me. So then we slept together. No, there's no excuse, but that's like the worst one. Yeah, bro, you fucked up. Own up to it. Move on. Speaking of being difficult to find online, I would like to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Did you know that your information is all just kind of out there, ready for the taking? And that is because when you use a lot of sites and a lot of parts of the internet, you are sometimes unknowingly consenting to selling all of your information and data to data brokers who can then sell your information and make money off of that information by giving it to people who can do whatever they want with it. And that is how you end up with scam calls and emails and texts and your accounts getting hacked, your passwords being stolen, etc., because you are constantly being taken advantage of online. Aura gives you the ability to opt out of data brokers selling your information. It will go through and scan all the places where data brokers may be getting your information from and selling it and immediately opt you out. And once you are opted out of selling your information, data brokers are legally no longer allowed to sell your information. So with Aura, you are able to go through and remove your information from hundreds of places where it may be being sold, and thus lowering your chances of being scammed online or through texts and emails. It will lower your chances of getting hacked, having your credit card information stolen, etc. And that is a lovely thing. It is nice to feel a little bit safer online by having this extra protection and this way to know that your information is going to be kept safer than ever. On top of that, you also get features like antivirus, VPN, password control, parental control, and identity theft insurance, and it is all in one place. So it is nice and easy and simple to use and just requires one location, which is fantastic and makes life so much easier. I value my privacy and I value yours. And that is why I think you should check out Aura at aura.com/kiwi, also linked in the description, for your 2-week free trial. I value my privacy and I value yours. And that is why I recommend going to aura.com/kiwi, also linked in the description, to start your 2-week free trial now. So stop data brokers from accessing and selling your information by going to my link, aura.com/kiwi, or clicking the top link in the description to start your 14-day free trial and see how many people are selling your information and opt out today. So yeah, thank you Aura for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. My ex-wife, 29, keeps asking me to be a part of her kid's life but won't compensate me, male 32, for my contributions. How can I get her to stop? My ex-wife and I split up last June. The court battle was messy and she ended up asking for full custody of our 2 kids. The whole ordeal was getting very drawn out and ridiculous, so I ended up giving her what she wanted. A couple months later, she's blowing up my phone demanding that I still continue to be a part of her kids' lives. I told her that since she wanted full custody, she can deal with raising them herself. It's not that I don't like the kids, but the fact that she keeps trying to manipulate me to pull her weight when she legally has full custody feels like a slap in the face. After numerous texts, calls, and even emails, I blocked her on everything. She ended up driving an hour plus to my mother's house to beg her to get me to spend time with the kids, saying stuff like since the kids are young, they need the influence of both parents in their lives. If only she thought about that before she got full custody. She keeps saying that I won't have to contribute financially, which isn't the problem because we both have well-paying jobs, but that she just wants me to take them out to eat or something, or visit, like that would make any difference. It still worked to drive all the way out there to mess around with stuff that isn't even my responsibility anymore. I told her over a phone call that if she wants me to expend that much effort and time when I'm already busy, then she needs to compensate me financially. Like I said, the money isn't the issue here. I just feel like if I'm gonna have to play the role of a father when I don't even have partial custody, then I shouldn't be doing it for free. It's not my job anymore. That much she's made clear. I'm getting so tired of all the mess and constant harassment via phone call and text. I just want her to leave me alone. I think she's seriously having trouble with her decisions. How could I resolve the situation? Legally, it should be resolved, but how can I stop her from trying to manipulate me? You're manipulating her here, bro. Firstly, imagine calling your kids stuff. Like straight up being here, what? It still worked to drive the way out there to mess around with stuff that isn't even my responsibility anymore. That stuff is your children. I get that maybe you're mad at your wife because she asked for full custody, but it doesn't sound like you even really care that much. You aren't very bothered by it. You didn't mention fighting for it, you're like, I just gave it to her. It's not that I don't like my kids, but I need to teach my wife a lesson. She shouldn't have asked for full custody if she wanted me to be a father. I don't think I have to be a father anymore. I don't want to see my kids or spend any time with my kids or do anything for my kids because I've got to teach my wife a lesson. Think about your kids here, bro. I don't give a fuck how much you don't like your ex-wife. I don't care. I don't care what your wife has done. I don't care if you ended on bad terms. The fact is, your kids seem to want to see you. Your kids want to spend time with their dad, and you are punishing them because you're mad at your ex-wife. Take shit out on your ex-wife in a different way. Like, I don't know. Don't talk to her outside of things that have to do with your kids. Have no contact other than when you're organizing plans with your kids. Like, be an adult, man. Look after your children. Saying it's not about the money, we both have well-paying jobs, like you can afford to do these things with your children, but you're not going to just because you want to teach your ex-wife a lesson. Like, you are the worst. I understand why you got a divorce because you literally seem like the absolute worst. She is not manipulating you. She's just asking you to spend time with your kids because, I don't know, maybe your kids want to see you. She wanted full legal responsibility of them. That's valid, right? You seem to not care that much. She wanted full legal responsibility. But that doesn't mean she's the only one who gets to look after them. She thought you loved your kids. So now she's confused as to why you don't want to spend time with them because she thought you loved them and they love you. She's not using you for free childcare. She just wants you to spend time with your own kids because you're their father. I tried to help my girlfriend's estranged brother and it was a mistake. I don't know what to do now, honestly. My girlfriend and I have been together for 1.5 years. I want to marry her. I was planning on proposing to her soon, but I have made a mistake. When we met, I didn't know my girlfriend had a brother that she no longer speaks to. I found out that her brother has had issues with drug use, and the last she knew he had been homeless and unemployed. This was shocking to me. I would never let any family member, especially a brother, be homeless. In my family, we help each other out no matter what. It wouldn't matter if someone uses drugs or even if they treat us badly. I was raised to always help your family, your blood, no matter what. It was shocking and appalling to me that my girlfriend didn't feel the same way. This caused arguments early in our relationship. However, I eventually let it go for now because I had an idea about helping her brother. 6 months ago, I, 34 male, began looking for my girlfriend's brother. I purposely didn't tell her. She had told me that she last knew she was in Canberra, however, he was not there. I had to hire an investigator and it took nearly 3 months for her brother to be located. I brought him here once he was located and told him I would help. I wanted to show my girlfriend, 31 female, that she was wrong. When I found her brother, I rented him a small flat and found him a job. I had been working extra hours to afford the flat. Although my girlfriend and I shared expenses equally, we have not combined our finances. I was able to rent the flat for him and I helped to find him employment and set up a bank account for him. I also encouraged to stop using drugs and seek counseling. For his part, he told me he wanted to stop taking drugs and was grateful for me giving him a chance after his family gave up on him. I admit now it was a mistake. He has been terminated from his job for theft of money and other items, and there is a police investigation. Moreover, he has committed bank fraud using the account I opened for him and has opened a credit card in my name without my knowledge. The ADP is investigating him using and selling drugs out of the flat, and I'm under investigation because the flat and bank account are both in my name. There was also a potential overdose in the flat. I was advised to hire a solicitor because I will likely be facing criminal charges even though I had no knowledge of her brother's actions. My girlfriend's brother is nowhere to be found now. My job is in jeopardy and my girlfriend ended the relationship last week after she found everything out. We were together for 18 months and had lived together for 6 months. I wanted to propose and marry her. I now admit she was right and I was short-sighted in trying to help her brother. I realize I made a mistake, but she was so angry at me. I know I deserved the anger and should have listened to her about his drug use and criminal record and why no one in the family speaks to him. I don't even care about the other problems as much as her leaving. I didn't know what he was doing, however, I've been pulled into it. I made a mistake and I realized that my own family's way of always helping no matter what is wrong. I don't even know what to do now. Thank you for reading. Oh my god, just because someone is family doesn't change anything. I understand the desire to help someone in a bad situation. It is a good thing to want to help someone in a bad situation and offer help if and when you can. However, You have to be doing it for the right reasons. Also know what you're getting into and have the right resources to be able to do that. You've clearly never helped anyone in a situation like this before and didn't know the correct steps to take. And seemingly you were just doing it in order to prove a point to your girlfriend and her family, which was, you abandoned him and I fixed him. Look, I made him all better. I gave him a job and I got him off the drugs. I'm so good. Look at me, praise me, love me. Like, that is the vibe you were giving off here very much, because you didn't tell anyone that you were doing this. You went behind your girlfriend's back to do this and started working extra hours and paying all this money to help him while not checking in on him at all, by the way. You were just paying his bill and like left him. You're like, I got you a job and you're going to counseling and I'm going to leave you and then I'm going to come back later and you're going to be all better and then I can show my girlfriend that I am better than her because I didn't give up on you when she did. Like, you didn't provide any of the necessary tools to help a drug addict and someone with a criminal record for like thief and fraud and things in the past. Like, you didn't do any of the necessary things. Of course she's going to be mad. Of course you should have listened. If you're going to help people with drug addictions, you've got to help them correctly and not just in a way that you think is going to benefit you by being able to show off that you're able to help someone. Good God. All I got here was that you didn't actually ever care about her brother or her, really. You just have this weird superiority complex that needed to be filled. And now you've been left with nothing because you didn't listen. You went behind your girlfriend's back and you tried to help someone without actually caring about the person and doing the research into how to help them and providing actual support. You can't just give a drug addict money in a flat and be like, all better. The fact that he spent 3 months trying just to find him too, like, good God. Help someone who wants help. If you really want to help a drug addict that bad, go put some people through rehab who are ready to accept help. Go find people who actually want help and help them instead. You have to want to help yourself in order to get better. You can't force that on someone. My 29 female husband, 28 male, has known about my affair. How can I save our marriage? So many of these are just about affairs. It's quite ridiculous, honestly. I have been together with my husband since sophomore year of college, and we got married 5 years ago. It has been amazing, and I kind of miss being young. Girl, you are 29. What do you mean you miss being young? You are not even 30. A couple of times a week after work, I go to the same bar when I don't want to sit in traffic. There's a guy that I would run into there, and it went from friendship to harmless flirting. Next thing you know, I found myself having an affair. The thing is, I love my husband, and this guy was a younger version of my husband, making me feel young. To avoid going into too much detail, my sister recently found out and alerted my husband behind my back. My sister told me that she told my husband and he told her he already knows and cried to her. I didn't believe her and thought she was saying that because she wanted me to tell him how she found out. However, she knew something I didn't tell her. I've been begging my husband for us to start trying for a kid, but he has been unequivocal in saying it's not the right time, despite our previous discussions about having kids at 28. My baby fever is high. She told me that the affair is why he doesn't want to have a baby right now. I never told her about him not wanting to have a baby right now. This prompted me to investigate, and I started digging into his phone, snooping with his password. He found out months ago and it caused him to be depressed. He is talking about it with his friend. She keeps telling him he should leave, and at first he was hesitant, saying he's going to try to remind me why I married him. She told him to leave and he can stay with her and her wife in the guest room. In one of the texts he says he is checked out and is sending apartment listings. This all makes sense because in the beginning of the affair he was being extra nice. We went on a trip when he was trying to remind me why I married him. A few weeks ago he seemed to start acting completely different. I feel horrible. I had no idea he would ever find out. I blocked my AP on everything and I'm ready to save my marriage. I feel horrible. He was never meant to find out. Not I feel bad about my actions, not I'm sorry about what I've done, I'm sorry I've hurt him. It's, man, I can't believe he found out. That's so annoying. I wanted to keep doing this forever. Oh my God, this is so sad. It's so sad. Firstly, I miss feeling young. You are 29. You are young. If you are upset about being tied down and married, that is a decision that you made. If you don't want to be settled this early in life, You don't have to be. You can leave. He seems ready for that decision to be made. I mean, I think it's too late now. I think the relationship is ending, and then you will be free. And then you can act as young as you want, and you don't have to be tied to one person. But you seem to want the best of both worlds. So many people are like this. It's like, I love my husband and I want to be married, but I also would like to be having affairs and doing whatever I want on the side. And like, you are able to have a relationship, like a single relationship, and then have people you see on the side or as separate, more casual relationships, if that is something you and your partner have discussed and agree upon. That's the thing, you know? Like, some people are fine with that. That works for some people. Polyamory in whatever capacity works for a lot of relationships. Cheating is a completely separate thing. In fact, you can be polyamorous and be in a polyamorous relationship, and cheating can still occur because it's just about being dishonest and lying. That's what hurts. It's not even necessarily that you are having an affair. It's the fact that you've hidden such a massive thing from someone you are supposedly in love with and sharing a life with, you know? He seemed to be so happy and so in love, and you just went and took complete advantage of him and just treated him really badly. This one is really long, so bear with me. Ex-wife, 38 female, married my 37 male, best friend, 35 male. It's killing me and destroyed my marriage. I, 37 male, have been with my wife, 26 female, for 5 years and married for 4 years. Okay, so they got together when he was 32 and she was 21? And not specified here, but clarified in a different post, he got with her through an affair. That's an important piece of information. She was 21, he was 32, and he cheated on his wife, whom he is talking about in this post, with her 5 years ago. Okay, carrying on. We have 3 kids from her previous relationship, 2 boys and 1 girl between the ages of 5 and 8. I really love her and her kids. Things were perfect until 3 or 4 months ago. I had 3 big promotions in 5 years. We bought a house last year. She stays home with the kids and is trying to make a social media career happen. I have always been on the fence about having kids, but she really wanted us to have one together, so I agreed to try to have my vasectomy reversed. She is 7 months pregnant now. We were so fucking happy. My ex-wife, 38 female, divorced me in 2019. I am obsessed with the fact that here he used the year, and earlier he was saying like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So we wouldn't like do the maths and think about the fact that the divorce happened at the same time the getting with the other girl happened. Like, he thought we weren't going to piece that together. Anyway, my ex-wife divorced me in 2019 and moved about 2 hours away a few months into the pandemic. Our divorce was amicable, but once it was finalized, I never heard from her again, even when I would wish her well on birthdays and holidays. I even sent her a graduation gift when I heard she finished her PhD program. Other people in our social circle, including my parents and sister-in-law who sent a gift, received handwritten thank you cards. I didn't get so much as a text. My ex-wife is a really kind and thoughtful person, and the woman I knew would have at least sent a thank you text if her worst enemy sent her a gift. Even though we broke up, I didn't think she hated me. Well, I guess you thought wrong. And deserved. My best friend, 35 male, and I were best friends since college. He's the best person I know, and at least 10 people think he's their best friend, but he said that I was his always. We kind of lost touch during the pandemic. We live 2 hours apart, and he is a lawyer and teaches classes at university, so he is really busy. I have a really busy career and a new wife and 3 kids. I didn't really realize that the texts between us were fewer and fewer, and that the last time he finally replied to me was in late 2021. He also falls off the face of the earth when he gets with a new girl, and then when things cool off, we all hear from him more. We have always been the kind of friends that could go on extended periods of time without communicating and then pick up right where we left off. I kept saying I would eventually call him when things were less busy. My wife and I went to the city he and my ex-wife live in last summer for a week, and I tried to call him a couple times to meet up, but he never answered. I was sad, but just figured he was busy with work or obsessed with a new girlfriend. I have other friends there, so I got to see them. Then I went to the city again by myself in October for a Halloween party. I figured he'd be at this party, and I was psyched I'd get to see him then. He was there. When I went to say hi and hug him, he looked a little surprised and gave me a weak hug. I told him that I was there during the summer, and I tried calling him so we could hang out. He just said, "Yeah, I was on my honeymoon that week. Sorry I didn't get back to you." I was really shocked to hear that he'd gotten married and a little hurt that my best friend got married without me even knowing he had a serious girlfriend, but still happy for him. Like I said, he was a great guy who girls love him. I spit out a rush of questions like, who is she? Where is she? What's her name? What's she like? Where'd you meet her? How long have you been together? He paused for a moment and then just bluntly said, it's ex-wife's name. My ex-wife doesn't have a unique name or anything, but it isn't the most common name either, and instantly I knew that it was her. I can't describe how it felt to hear those two words come out of his mouth. I felt sick to my stomach and I immediately wanted to die. I have never felt like that before. I just said, what the fuck? He told me that I didn't get to be mad because I broke her heart and they didn't start dating until 2 years after we got divorced, and that I chose to be with some waitress anyway. I drank the rest of the weekend because it was the only way I was able to sleep. I feel betrayed by both of them. My best friend since I was 20 years old married my ex-wife behind my fucking back. I was married to her for 6 years and they were never even friends, and now they are in love with each other. I also found out that he talked shit about my current wife and me behind my back and never liked her. I'm sorry. The audacity here of being like, I feel betrayed because my best friend since I was 20 years old married my ex-wife when they weren't even friends when we were together. Like, firstly, I don't think he's been your best friend since you were 20, considering you've barely spoken. You've never seen each other in the past several years. You haven't even spoken for 3 years. I don't really think you can call him your best friend. Or maybe you can. Maybe you don't have any friends that you see at all regularly or talk to at all regularly. But like, yikes. Like, I'm in friendships where I don't speak to them very often. But it's definitely a little bit more than that. And then the fact that they weren't even friends while you were married and then being together now, honestly, I think makes it better because it means that it wasn't happening behind your back at all. They like kind of re-met and rekindled a relationship and began completely new. I think this is a much better way for it to happen, if we're being completely honest. I went back home and I know that I was distant with my wife and the kids because I was just hurting so much. After a couple of weeks, we had a big fight and she called me out on being distant and accused me of cheating. I finally came clean and told her about my ex and my best friend, and she scoffed about and said she'd known about them for a long time now because of social media. I flew into a rage and we fought for hours. She betrayed me by not telling me the entire time she knew. She didn't say anything when I mentioned my best friend not returning my calls or messages. I didn't get to sleep before going to work, and after work, I just stayed with my parents for a few days. When I finally went back home, we got into another fight where she accused me of still being in love with my ex and said I wouldn't care if I wasn't. Yeah. I called her stupid and said that she wouldn't understand because she doesn't have any friends. I wouldn't... Fucking hell, man. You can't just yell at your wife that she doesn't have any friends. You wouldn't understand, you don't have any friends. You seem to not really have any friends either, bro, because your best friend you haven't spoken to for years and married your ex-wife and you didn't know. Which means you also don't even follow him on social media. Unless you don't have social media. I guess you're 37 and your wife is 25, so... If you don't follow your best friend on social media and you haven't talked to your best friend in several years, I don't think you have a best friend. So you aren't really one to be calling her out for not having any friends. And regardless, sounds like she's got her hands full staying home and looking after 3 kids all the time. Anyway, fuck you, basically. I wouldn't care if my ex-wife got married to anyone else if it wasn't my best friend. I don't see what is so hard to understand about that. We made up eventually, but I feel sick to my stomach every day and things aren't the same in our relationship. I love my wife, but I've come to realize it's not the same way I loved my ex-wife. My wife doesn't love me the same way my ex-wife did either. I have started to regret the things that led to our divorce because we were really happy until the moment she left me. I don't even have my best friend to call because he's too busy fucking my ex-wife to care about me anymore. Viewing their marriage as that is gross and fucked up in and of itself. Yeah, I'm unsurprised that the love in these two marriages is different, considering the love with your wife was formed out of like genuine connection and love and mutuality and whatever, and this current relationship you're in seems to have come from a not great place because it started as an affair with someone who is like 11 years younger than you. So it started as an affair with someone 11 years younger than you who had kids and was seemingly single, so needed someone to help her financially and raise the kids. It doesn't feel like a marriage that is built on the foundation of love. It feels like a marriage that was you looking for an adventure and her looking for some stability that was needed. Obviously, that's gonna be a little bit different. I mean, I'm not trying to project here, but that is the vibes that I'm getting. Everything feels empty and like a lie now. A lot of friends agree that they both betrayed me, but think I need to move on. Even my dad and brother told me to get over it. My sister-in-law yelled at me, and my mom tries to comfort me, but I know she's overhearing about my problems. I have to pretend I'm okay, but I'm not. No one gives a shit about mental health when it comes to men. Okay. Okay. Calm down there. You brought this upon yourself, bro. You made every single decision that led you to this situation. You are the reason that you are in this position. You chose to have an affair, which led to your divorce, which led to this situation. Neither your ex-wife nor your best friend did anything to betray you. All of that was on you. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. I'm sorry you're depressed, but that's not anyone's fault but your own. I brought up couples therapy to my wife, but she said that she thinks we're okay since we worked through things. I guess I have to pretend for the rest of my life now because divorce is not on the table. I need advice on what to do and how to get closure. I'm thinking of driving to their city just to show up and force them to talk to me so I can move on. Is that too much to ask? How do I get my wife to see that it is hard to trust her after knowing she kept a big secret from me for a long time? Your wife didn't tell you that your ex-wife and your best friend got married. Probably because she thought it would cause a big reaction from you and make your relationship go through some problems. So that's why she didn't tell you. And it seems that she was kind of right in that. I also think, the assumption that you would follow your best friend on social media is a pretty valid one. I feel like I would assume you to know from social media or word of mouth or from your other friends. The fact that you didn't find out is wild to me. Like, if I was your wife, I would have kind of just assumed you knew and just didn't care. Like, I wouldn't feel the need to tell you because how would you not know? None of your mutual friends told you. You don't follow them on social media. You've managed to avoid that information for like 2 years. That's ridiculous. How did you manage that? It wasn't important information to tell. It wasn't her news to tell. It was just she knew your ex-wife married your best friend. But that's not keeping a secret. She just didn't tell you public information. I don't know. But I feel bad for your current wife right now because, I feel kind of bad for your current wife right now because she's 7 months pregnant. She's a mother of 3 kids already. And she's so young. And you're here now, mad at her for not even doing anything wrong and realizing you don't even really love her. And oh, what a terrible, messy situation. I'm happy for your ex-wife though. Your ex-wife and your best friend, good for them. Good for them. As they should. I am very, very happy for your ex-wife. I hope that she's happy. I hope that the two of them live a long and happy life together because they deserve it. Okay, God, some people are just so entitled. It's wild. I can't believe that you can look at this situation and think that he is owed anything. The fact that he thinks his best friend and his ex-wife are the problem here and showing up to their house and talking about it. What do you hope to resolve? How is this gonna go? They got married because they love each other and you're just jealous that they have each other and you don't have her anymore. You don't get either of them anymore in your life because you were a bad friend and a bad husband and they deserve each other and you deserve neither of them. I am going to end it here, I think. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. I appreciate you so, so much. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Bobby, Josh, Mandy, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Danielle, Raven, Elias, Chris, and Amelia. I love and appreciate you so, so much. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes.